I'm Todd Crocker with Bob McGill. And Bob, this IceCap team is at the very edge.
Yeah, they got their backs against the wall in a crushing defeat in last night's game, leading 3-0 at the halfway point of the hockey game. They end up losing 4-3 in overtime to the Texas Stars. And I think that's going to be a very difficult situation to try and battle through here, Todd. I'm really interested to see what it's going to be like these first few minutes. You can kind of touch or cut the tension with a knife here in the building tonight. And let's see if the IceCaps have got what it takes to battle back here in game number 5.
Talk about Whitecaps. It was a storm last night that the Texas Stars provided in the last half of the game, coming up with 4 unanswered goals and a victory in overtime with Travis Morin picking up the goal yet again.
And he's been red hot. He's got the game-winning goal for the Texas Stars in each of their 3 victories here in this championship series. And it's very interesting to see as the St. John's IceCaps come out here for game number 5. A little bit of a switch up of their lines. They've juggled the centermen around. You got young Adam Lowry centering the line with Gordon and Jaffrey, and an interesting little sort of mix-up for Coach Keith McCambridge.
He had to do something, I suppose, though. He had a pretty good lineup to start the game last night. They were up 3-0 before it started to fall apart as Jaffrey sends it back into the corner, and Maxim Fortunas goes after it. Lowry moves it. Gordon picking it out of the corner. Little backhander that slides through the crease out the other side. Sherratt, who got the first goal in last night's affair, a shorthander out front, and that one doesn't get through to Neil Storp. Trying to work it back up the wall. Starting out a little rough as it's played back out and all the way down into St. John's end. Zach Redmond picking up there and finding Lowry. Cut off by Alexiak as he stepped in front of his man, and it's played back inside the IceCaps end of things.
Well, Ben Sherratt playing physical in that first shift. Try to draw some energy and get some your team going with some energy with that physical play, but you got to be disciplined.
Here's Odell down into the corner for the IceCaps. Turning out of there, a shot right on from Mullerat, who's had some success in this series. One of the only IceCaps that really has.
A goal in each of the 4 games for this St. John's club.
Ritchie. Well, and we would be remiss if we didn't say that this man also has had some success. Michael Hutchinson.
Yeah, as we get a look at the Texas lineup, no changes in their lineup whatsoever. Coach Willie Desjardins likes what he saw from his team. A slow start in last night's game, but they bounced back from the halfway point on, and they took over in that overtime victory, and they're looking to close things out and win their first Calder Cup in Texas Stars history here this evening.
Radek Faksa coming in to take this draw. Comes back to the line and just finds its way outside as Nemeth retreats with it back to his own end. Plays it ahead to Henderson. It slid off his stick and down deep. Brendan Kitchening goes after it for the Caps. Out front from Stronsky. And nobody there. It pops back into the corner. And a little help by Henderson to keep it in. After it goes Fox again. He pushes it in behind the net. Kitchening there. Looking to work it back out of the corner. Hill steps to it. Looks up front and has it slide a little bit on him. At the line, it's kept in. But the Stars making a change just 2 minutes into this one, a little bit more. Kitchening down the wall, doesn't get it far, and it's picked up by McKenzie. Coming back across the blue line, had it wobble off an edge and into the corner. There the IceCaps recover it, and Blair Riley tries to get to it at the line. It's put to Meach. He goes cross ice. Fortunas with a wrist shot, tipped out front by Ramford, but wide of the mark.
Well,
Meach comes in deep.
Ranford with 3 assists in last night's hockey game. A look almost gets on the board for the Stars in that one.
Back up high, McKenzie. Here's Fortunas again with a little snapshot that goes off the stick and over the hedge.
Well, and interestingly enough, the morning skate today, after an overtime victory, as you see this Texas Stars move the puck around, that's one thing that's huge in their game. Puck possession in the offensive zone, but the Stars took today off. None of their guys that played in last night's game skated this morning. They had a full practice today for the St. John's IceCaps and working on defensive zone coverage, trying to shore some things up coming into game 5, in which they've lost 2 in a row here in this series.
Gauntz overskating it, and Glennie getting to it. Ben Sherratt And Gauntz tries to race for this one. Lowry picks it up. He's got help! And that one is stopped up by Gauntz, but it looked like a good opportunity for Jaffrey. He needed one in this series. Here's Jaffrey working it back out of the corner. The captain of this St. John's IceCaps team up along the near boards. Jeffrey steals it away, and it's put back to the line. It gets by Redmond. It's picked up by Mueller. He races in, takes the shot, and he was going stick side, but Hutchinson got the blocker on it. And the IceCaps send it all the way back the other end. It'll be picked up, and icing will be the call.
Well, again, this is a quick strike team, this Texas Stars club, and you got to be careful managing the puck. The puck skips over top of the blade, but this is a play where young Adam Lowry trying to find Jaffrey, and a good stick there by Gauntz, and then right back the other way come the Texas Stars. But, that number one line, Jaffrey, Albert, and Gordon, between the three of them, they have 4 assists, no goals thus far in the series, and a big reason why they sit down 3-1 coming into this one.
Yoki Paka moves it along. Hedden squeezed back down to the ice by Sherrod. He takes a shot from Ritchie, and we've got a penalty coming up. The 2 referees in this one, Mark Lemelin, Graham Skilleter. The linesmen, John Grant and Jim Vale.
Well, the issue I have with this call is that there's an official who's about 20 feet away watching the play. Hedden gets taken into the boards by Sherrod, and then Ritchie comes in, and he lets up and just kind of pushes Sherrod. I don't know if Sherrod sells this a little bit, but the back official who's out in the neutral zone, he makes the call. So the first power play opportunity will go to the St. John's IceCaps in this hockey game. They finally snapped their 0 for drought going into last night, as they were 1 for 4, now 1 for 14 in the series.
Back to the blue line. Kitchen sends it in. Down into the corner, trying to stuff it in. They will not do it, as Nilstorp turns it aside. Back down the ice it comes. The IceCaps trying to make sure they stay alive. Odell ahead for Mullerat at the line. Gets down low. Mullerat tried to play it back to Odell, but it's picked off by the Stars and cleared out yet again, this time by Cameron Gauntz. If they stay alive, there will be a trip to Texas. If not, there will be a trophy presented at the end of this game to the Texas Stars, but that's a long way from right now. Just 1 period at a time. That's what the coaching staff has put out. 1 shift, 1 period at a time. This one's sent in a little too early. They'll bring it back.
Well, you're talking about that, and that's something here with this, hockey club is, you look at the defenseman, Oleksiak, who's had a real good series. First round pick for this Dallas Stars organization. 2nd year as a professional, and St. John's feeling a little bit of heat here as they get the first power play opportunity of the hockey game with 1 minute to go on that first chance.
IceCaps putting it along to Gordon, who could use a couple of points in this one to make him feel a little bit better about his contribution.
Well, he's a guy that's won a pair of Calder Cups in his career with the Hershey Bears, and a 4-time 20-goal scorer. He had 9 goals coming into this round, the championship round, and he's only got a pair of assists so far, and that's just not good enough for St. John's.
Here come the Stars, short-handed. Breaking off Gauntz. Jeffrey cuts into the middle, tries a little backhander that O'Neill breaks up. Now he races up the left side. He's got Sampson in front of him, but 2 Stars in front of them, and it's dumped in. Back up to the blue line. After it goes Gordon. Yoki Paka as well. Snap 2 up along the near boards. Here at the line, O'Neill tried to throw one in. Didn't get anything on it as Dustin Jeffrey got in the way. Ritchie came out of the box and was looking for the Hail Mary. Sampson, long shot off the mark to the far boards, and out it goes. Lifted back into the Stars zone. Here's Albert looking in, has help! Stopped by Nilstorp, and Ranford moves it up along the far boards. A great save that keeps this one knotted at 0.
Well, Riley with a great chance to open the scoring for St. John's just after the power play expires. And we got a hand pass. So the face-off out in the neutral zone. but successful penalty kill for Texas in the first period.
No score here in St. John's in the first period, the Calder Cup final. You mentioned, Bob, in the earlier part here of the first period that the leading scorers for St. John's, Andrew Gordon, one of those. In fact, he is. He's got 18 points, but he came into the series with 16.
Well, he did, and that's something where he was a point or two behind Morin coming into this final round, and Morin with 7 points in the series and just 2 assists for Gordon. So the lead in the, I guess, the race to be the champion of the scoring for the playoffs certainly in the favor of Morin, as he's got 4 goals and 7 points.
Well, he certainly picked up that title in the regular season, walking away with it.
Yeah, he did, and you go back, he scored the game-winning goal for each of the 3 games here for the Texas Stars in this series, and back-to-back overtime winners. The first time, it's only the 3rd time in the history of the American Hockey League in the finals have you had someone score 2 overtime winners. The last time being 1984, the time before that 1963, so a very rare feat.
Sampson moves it down into the corner. Neil Storp just gives it a touch, and back up the boards it comes. Cross ice, Meach through the middle, and it's cut off as Sampson didn't have many places to go with it, so he sends it along the ledge, and O'Neill will pick it up there. Down the ice, Alexiak in his own end. We'll look to move it back for the Stars again. He goes cross ice, but there's nobody home, and O'Neill will pick it up as those two look like they're on a bit of a pitch and catch at the moment. Morrissey moves it up the boards. Now Stronsky peels it off there, but picking it up again, Sampson, as he turns it back the other way. Morrissey working back as he dumps it in, and a couple of changes from the IceCaps. Side of the net, still back in behind Nilstorp. Back up along the near boards as they struggle to try and decide who will pick this one up. It'll be Cameron Gauntz, and he backhands it up the ice as the Stars make changes. Ben Sherratt works out of the corner. Nemeth keeps it in, but he put it right onto the stick of Redmond, and he sends it down the ice to Gordon. Tapped off his stick. Jaffrey steps back out of the corner, comes back up high. Redmond lets one fly. Save! And it's still loose out front of Millstor. Banging away at it are the IceCaps. They pick it up again, and someone just wide of the mark. And if up into the corner it goes, where Yoki Paka picks it up and gets it back out.
It's almost like the way things have happened here for Gordon and Jaffrey in this final series. Yet to find the net, the back of the net, each of them, as they get great opportunities out in front of Nilstorp. But Gordon fires one wide on a great opportunity out in the high slot.
This crowd has not lost faith in its IceCaps. Fortuna sharply to Meach, and then he had a tough time getting it down the wall. Just kind of had it slide off his stick. Albert comes back the other way as they pick it up and try to find Riley dashing through the slot. Here's Morin. Careful with it. Chooses the speed at which the game is played, and now it is sent along and into the St. John's zone. Lifted back out. One looked like it almost touched the bench, but it might have been the official. Back across the blue line is Ritchie. Round behind the net, it's picked up by Kitchton, and now Riley will work it, but he gives it right over to Mike Hedden, who turns around and sends it in deep. Ritchie in behind the net, gets a bit of a shove there. After it quickly comes Dowling. He tried to play it back down low, but cutting it off is Morrissey. He's done a pretty good job in this series as well.
I really like what I've seen from this youngster who just comes out of junior hockey right into the fire of the Calder Cup playoffs, and he's been terrific.
Ahead, that one is tipped, and it just stays in on the high glass. Along the near boards, the IceCaps. Klingberg. Big part of last night's early success for this IceCaps team. Scramble. Comes back out into center, backing up is Kitchton. Mueller with a head of steam. Gets across the line, looks in, hangs on, and then took the shot, but Kitchton got his stick on it. Mueller in behind the net now. Turns, sends it back out front. They try to jam it in at the side door, but Glennie couldn't get his stick on it. Less than 10 minutes to go here in the first period. 9:56 remaining. No score here between the IceCaps and the Texas Stars. Scramble out front. Wow.
This was one play where Jaffrey had an opportunity, then Gordon in the high slot trying to go short side, blocker side of Nilstorp, and he can't find the net. And so many opportunities in game number 4 last night as St. John's peppered him with 21 shots.
Shot right on Hutchinson. Still loose side of the net, and it's picked up and put back down the ice. Sampson racing for it. Meach takes the 9-iron to it. And McKinnon will gather it in and then dump it in. Meach goes quickly after it. Glove off as it comes back behind the net again, where Fortunas scrambles to get to it. Quick feet now. Out front it comes, but Stronsky cuts it off. He's got Fox up and ahead of him, and he decides to touch it to him now. Henderson is just going to dump that one in as both sides are going to make some changes here. Will O'Neill, careful. Wants to get the right people in the right places. Short pass along to Albert. He gets some speed underneath the skates and comes back the other way. And now Nilstorp will have to play it back into the corner. The referee is there. It's picked up by the Stars. Redmond was in tight, but he backed up. And now down the right side, here's McKenzie. He's got help in Ramford, but he sends it in behind the net. Up along the near boards, Ramford knocked down. The crowd appreciative. Redmond across the blue line with Riley. Gets it back, and it's poked off of his stick. Comes back out front. Pass Cormier. Back into the corner it rolls. In behind the net, Riley looks for Redmond. Back out front, cut off by Gauntz. That one looked destined. Here's Morin back the other way across the blue line. Trying to feed it back in on a second attempt. Rolls out front and reaching for it was Hedden, but he couldn't get there. It was cleared out by the Caps.
Well, Mike Hedden goes to the net. He stops, but he's too tight to the goalkeeper. If he would have stayed out in front of the blue ice, he would have had an easy tap into an open goal.
Dowling winds up, lets one fly. It's blocked by Lowry. Scramble forward along the far boards. Nemeth knocked to the ice. Dowling tries to step away with it. Sherratt. Little tap there from Dowling, and now he takes a shot as well, and Jaffrey goes down to the ice from Ritchie. Kitchener on a backhand. Kept in as they can't get it out, and they say it did go out.
Yeah, I think this is a good call by the official as, you know, the puck comes near the blue line, and when Nemeth keeps it in at the line, he kind of stick handles it, and it comes out over across the blue line, and the official standing right on top of the blue paint. So good call by the linesman.
Looked like they gave it away. And here's Mueller and Odell. Off the draw. Mueller wins it. Hammered down into the zone. Comes out the other end. Odell plays it back off the boards, and out come the IceCaps. They don't get far with it, where it's picked up again by Nemeth. He releases one into the wild, and off goes Glennie. Gets by Jaffrey, and here comes Odell. Working back with Klingberg with some speed, but it's broken up by Nemeth and Yoki Paka. Out of the corner, Klingberg steps back the other way. Sends it back up high. Leaning into it, didn't get to it, was O'Neill. He does, however, keep it in. Or does he? He sends it down into the crowd, actually. 7 minutes left to play.
Will O'Neill is one of those guys that from the back end, St. John's, you know, they've gotten a lot of offense. 12 goals from their blue line here in the Calder Cup playoffs. And Will O'Neill is certainly a catalyst. And he comes off the bench, he comes into the offensive zone, and he lines himself up for a one-time shot, but he gets to the wrong side of him, and then he can't keep it in as it goes offside over the glass from his stick as he was getting some pressure.
Caps bring it in across the Texas line. Down around behind the net. Sampson looks out front. He was trying to find London, who's back in the game. After taking a game off of his stick, and it wobbles back down into the St. John zone.
Yeah, last night St. John's went with a change where they went with 7 defensemen and only 11 forwards, but they've gone back to the 6 and 12 here this evening.
Here's Meach. Fox it down the left side. He's got behind him Stronsky trying to lift it toward the net. And now Morrissey doesn't have a lot of help as St. John's on the change. He dumps it in. Albert comes after it for the IceCaps, but doesn't get there quick enough before Alexiak moves it into some open ice. Popped up. That's a wobbler into the corner as Ranford tries to get after it. IceCaps Riley picks it up, and he's looking for an exit point. Finds Cormier. Get it back into the Texas zone, and are working it back out of the corner. Travis Morin throwing his stick at it. Out it comes to Morin. Nice little dip over to McKenzie, and he sends it down the ice with just the right amount of sauce on it. 5:35 left to play here in the first period. No score between Texas and St. John's in this game. That means whether the St. John's IceCaps stay alive in this Calder Cup final. Here's Redmond. Hanging on to it. Sherratt puts it back to Redmond. Looks in. Lifts one toward the net, but it didn't get through. Nemitz knocks it back into the corner for the Stars. Jaffrey there to battle for it. Yoki Paka picks it up and puts it off the glass behind his netminder. Morin plays it back up the boards. Ritchie is there trying to find Hedden. He does. Hedden's all by himself, but he's still hanging on to the puck. Getting some pressure from Redmond. He tried to go cross ice, but Sherratt got his stick on it. And now Dowling will tip it up along the boards. Ritchie throws one toward the net. Lowry picking it up and coming back the other way. He doesn't get far with it before Dowling is all over him. And now a nice little pass to Klingberg. Brings him down the right side. Takes the shot. Save! And the rebound was there, but it popped up and off into the corner. At the blue line, Kitchton throws one toward the net. Side of the net! Great opportunity for Klingberg, but he couldn't find it again.
Well, Klingberg showing again that speed from the outside as he scored a goal to make it 2-0 early in period number 2 in last night's hockey game, and he was dangerous all night, so he's got his legs going here in period number 1 again.
Jeffrey was looking for some help out front. Lenny throwing his stick on it. Kitchton and Odell trying to confuse the issue. Jeffrey knocked down out front was Mueller. He comes after it now, but it comes to Klingberg. He's at the end of his shift, so he dumps it in.
Well, they're going to call icing on this play, and Klingberg was about a foot from the red line, but the official's calling it pretty tight right there, so this is an opportunity here for the Texas Stars, as St. John's a little tired as you get a look at Klingberg's shot from the outside and then crashing the net as he beats Fortunas back to in front of the goal, and his countryman Nilstorp just pushes that puck aside, and then that shot from the point by Kitchton almost gets redirected in front of the goaltender again. So having to be sharp is Christopher Nilstorp in the Texas goal. Shots 4 apiece here in period number 3 with just over 3.5 minutes to play.
Here's Klingberg. His first 20 minutes is 3:30 away from being complete. Nobody has scored yet. Cormier turning around trying to move it, but it's picked up by the Stars, and now McKenzie works in, takes the shot, and that
hit the
one
crossbar.
Was awfully close. Here's Nemeth. He fires one in. Out front, doesn't get through. Riley turns on it. Back up for Ramper. We've seen a lot of mining going on, a lot of metal in the last game and a half. Out of the corner, McKenzie tries to move it. O'Neill. Here's Albert, steps back out. Finds Riley, who tips it past Nemeth. Now a foot race for it as Riley trying to get to it. Picks it up, moves in on Nilstorp. Stop, rebound. Albert was there, but Nilstorp was better. Opportunity for us to step aside with 2:41 remaining. No score here in Game 5 of the Calder Cup Final. There are places where you might expect the fans to kind of step away being down 3-1. Not here. They've come out in full force again.
No question.
On their caps.
You're right about that, Todd. And you know what? What a fantastic hockey town this is. This is 139 consecutive sellouts since the St. John's IceCaps have come to town. They support this team through thick and thin. They've had a wild ride, and certainly you go back to the St. John's Maple Leafs days, 1992. They lost all 4 games on home ice. They're in a position here where if they don't win here tonight, that'll be 7 consecutive Calder Cup final games without a victory here in St. John's.
Fans deserve better. Here's Redmond. Sending one in! That one tipped but wide. Awfully close at both ends of the ice with opportunities late in this first period. Here's Redmond gathering it in. Hammers one toward Neil Storp, but he plays it off to Derek Meach. Little chip up the boards as Henderson tries to get it up and out. And they finally do. Takes a long way around as Gordon plays it back to Ben Sherratt. Less than 2 minutes to play. Meach knocks it down. That looked like it was going all the way, but here's Stronsky reeling it in, but he's offside. He backed himself in there, but left the puck behind.
Yeah, you can skate in backwards with the puck as long as you have control of the puck. And right there on that play, Stronsky doesn't have control, so a good call by the official, but the St. John's IceCaps here in the last couple of minutes, they get a real good opportunity with their little wrist shot from Redmond from the blue line, gets redirected out front, and Neil Storp holding his ground and holding the fort down for the Texas Stars in this 0-0 hockey game.
Hedden knocks it in. Hutchinson plays it. Quick to it, though, was Ritchie. And he comes away with it briefly. Still after it is Brett Ritchie. Alexiak steps down the wall, tries to move it back to Ritchie. He's a big body to try and move. And he tries to peel it out of there. Does, finally, but right there is Odell. And finally, the IceCaps get a little bit of breathing room and come back out with it. Klingberg not on his stick, so it's a turnover back for the Texas Stars. Long pass. Ritchie still on the ice, still working it. Moves along to Hedden, cuts in, scores! Hedden with a nice little move to draw first blood here in St. John's and move the Stars up 1-0.
Well, Mike Hedden gets his 8th goal of the Calder Cup playoffs and the all-important first goal here of the hockey game. But transition game for the Texas Stars. Out in the neutral zone. It goes D to D and the long outlet pass. Ritchie battles with it. He finds that loose puck. He just chips it to Hedden, who's got a full set of steam under his skates. And a nice play to chip it over top of the catching glove of the goaltender Hutchinson. And with 1:08 to play in period number 1, the Texas Stars grab the lead.
I'll tell you, I don't think there's too many goals we've seen where Hutchinson looked like he got beat, but he looked like he got beat there. Coming back the other way was Redmond. He didn't get the pass back. And now back out into center it comes. Fired down into the corner. Nemeth picks it up there. Steps back, looks for Yoki Paka, and up ice comes Yoki Paka through center. Morin off the boards. Dribbles in on the goaltender. He stops one, he stops two, and now we've got a penalty coming up.
Well, the Texas Stars here in the last minute, they score with 1:08 left to go, and then they come close again. Right there is Mueller on the doorstep, and he has to be hooked from the backside by Redmond, and Zach Redmond will go to the box, and Morin just throws it towards the net. Hutchison directs it, but jumping on that loose puck is Mueller, and Redmond gets called for the hooking penalty, and so with 31.6 seconds to play, the Texas Stars will get the first opportunity for their hockey club here on the power play. 1 for 8 in the series, and you think over 4 games, only 8 power plays for. Very disciplined have been the St. John's IceCaps.
They even scored a shorthander last night. It gave them a big jump as they went out 3-0, but then the Texas Stars brought what they normally bring. That'll be picked up for icing. 13 seconds left to go. They'll bring it all the way back.
Well, Hutchinson, as you said, he's been fantastic in this series, and you know, it was split 1 game apiece in Austin, Texas, the first 2 games. In game 2, in which the St. John's IceCaps won, he made 49 saves in that hockey game, and he was fantastic, and he's been terrific here in both games before tonight here in St. John's. Both overtime losses for his St. John's IceCaps, but you're certainly not going to fault the goaltender.
Here's McKenzie off the wall, looks in, time ticking, and it ticked away. After 20 minutes of play, the Texas Stars up 1-0, courtesy Mike Hedden.
In period 2 coming up, let's go upstairs to Bob McGill and Todd Crocker.
We're underway here in the second period as the IceCaps and the Stars get reacquainted after a little intermission, and the Stars up 1-0. That will be all that they need if they want it to be, but I'm going to guess there will be a few more people that add their name to the list here in the second period on both sides of the ledger. Just 30 seconds in here, the Stars. Mueller moves it over to Fortunas. Off the wall, Fortunas looks in, tried to take the shot, and then it drifted off to McKenzie. He's got Glennie back out front. He's working with Mueller as a line. Mueller hanging on. Up high on the power play. Still working it. That one pops up and over Morin's head. Travis Morin retreats and then puts it right onto the stick of Mueller. Across the blue line they come, but not for long. Back comes Albert. He's got Cormier with him. Winds up, takes the shot, and Nilstorp comes up with the save. 20 seconds left to go in the extra man for the Texas Stars.
Well, this a much more dangerous play than it looks like, and a turnover at the offensive blue line by Texas. Back the other way comes the St. John's IceCaps, and that shot by Cormier uses the defenseman as a screen, and it almost gets between the body and the arm of the goaltender Nilstorp as he looks around, as he squeezes that arm to his body to not allow that puck to get through.
In comes Cormier and Dowling for the draw. Alexiak moves it back, and Meach right side across the blue line. Dowling tries a little backhander in toward the net. It rides the rail and gets by nearly everyone but Ritchie, and now he has to retreat with it. 5 seconds left to go as Redmond on his feet at the blue line. Dowling moves in and across. Hedden looks over, cross ice. He goes quickly, and we're back to 5-on-5, but that's a hand pass.
And Ritchie's trying to say that he knocked the puck down, but it does hit his hand, and it's touched by the defenseman scooting in. So the first penalty kill for St. John's in this hockey game, a successful one, as both clubs have had one opportunity here as we're just getting underway. Less than about a minute and 33 seconds gone here in period number 2, and a 1-0 lead for the Texas Stars in game number 5.
They got a long road to go, this St. John's club, and they made it even longer as they're down a goal. Gauntz knocks it down, tries to sweep at it. Gordon Odell comes across the line on the backhand, knocked away by Nilstorp and the blocker. Gordon back out of the corner, sends it up high. O'Neill drifts one in, just slides wide of the net, hit the post and went wide, and it's cleared out by the Texas Stars.
Well, you can't get any closer than that than tying the hockey game. And again, some diligent work by St. John's in the offensive zone, chasing down loose pucks, get the puck to the point, and then you go to the net to provide a screen. And the wrist shot from the blue line boy, O'Neill, gets through the pads of the goaltender Nilstorp, but it goes out the other side and just goes outside that left goal post, as Gordon trying to pounce on that loose puck to bang it in the open net.
Saw some close ones last night, just right at that goal too. In fact, one that looked like it was in, but they did not count it. All the way down the ice, they'll bring this back.
Well, back-to-back icing calls against the Texas Stars, and maybe a little bit of life here for this St. John's IceCaps crew. And you know, that last shift that provided that offense, Odell on the line with Gordon and Jaffrey, so another bit of a switch up by McCambridge, trying to find some chemistry to get some offense going.
Sherratt lifts one toward the net, and McKinnon may have got a piece of it, but it went wide anyway. Dump back into the St. John's zone. They're going to call that one as icing as well.
Well, much like they did in period number 1 near the end of the period, when St. John's was called for an icing play in which it was maybe a foot behind the red line. Right there, Henderson doesn't get to the red line, and as a result, the third consecutive icing call here against the Texas Stars. Off goes McKenzie.
Off the draw, comes back up high. Redmond throws one toward the net, and it's gloved by Nielsstorp. He saw it from all the way out.
Well, again, Nielsstorp, when you go back to last night's hockey game, you know, a 3-0 lead for the St. John's IceCaps, excuse me. And, you know, even though he gave up 3 goals, he shone through that first half of the game. You know, 29 shots, you know, through the first period and a bit, and a 3-0 lead. But then his team kind of took over and reversed, you know, the whole game, and it was 29-6 in favor of Texas the last half of the hockey game, and ended up 3-3 and went to overtime. So Nielsstorp, or the goaltenders, have been terrific in this whole series. The first 4 games have been, you know, really, you can't fault the goaltending for anything that's transpired as far as goals for and against, and a couple of 2-1 games as tempers flaring a little bit right here, and it's about some discipline. And I think we're going to have a couple guys go to the box. Last night's game, a couple of different times during the course of the game, the referee called both guys 4-on-4, and you get that open ice, and I think it favors this Texas squad when you get that extra ice where it's 4-on-4, and then the referee signaling 4-on-4, as I believe it's Riley going to the box along with Curtis McKenzie, as both these teams may be starting to dislike each other a little bit.
Well, they need maybe to pick up some emotion. Not that you want to see it turn into a goat rodeo, but you have to add some emotion into this thing. That
no question. When you're the St. John's IceCaps, you need some emotion here. Get the crowd involved, and you know that starts with banging some bodies and maybe trying to fire up your club to get some offense going.
Here's Yoki Paka. Rampert tries to move it back across the line. Klimberg, you know, he's got speed. Tries to cut in, but Yoki Paka cuts him off back behind the net, but the net is no longer where it should be. They'll have to put that back if they hope to continue.
Well, Ben Sherratt, the defenseman for St. John's, going to the net as Klingberg goes wide, and he tries to get around Yoki Paka, and both Nemeth and Klingberg bang into the goaltender Nielsstorp, and it takes the net off its moorings. So the face-off is going to come outside the Texas zone, as they're going to say that it was the fault of Sherratt, who charged in and took that net off its mooring.
Off the draw, Meach turns back into his own end, then moves it to Glennie. That's a short enough pass, and it's off a stick and back into Nielsstorp. Fortunas gets a little bit of pressure. Finds Meach, reliable. And now Meach in behind his own net with Kel Mullerod out front. He's going to hang on to this one for a good long time before he does something with it. He gets it to Glennie, but that pass that they've tried now over the last 60 minutes, now call it 80 minutes of play, that they got throughout the first part of this series just is not there at the moment.
Well, adjustments on the fly by, you know, the St. John's IceCaps coaching staff.
Mullerot through center, the shot! And that one was a hard one, but off the target. Now Jeffrey picks it up. Chips it up the boards, tapped by Meach. He's going to go after it himself, but there are going to be some changes when he looks back the other way, and now he'll go off too. A little over 4 minutes off the clock here in the second period. Stars up 1-0. Here's Odell with Mullerot. Now that crew is going to go off. Alexiak picks it up for the Stars. Up front he's got Ritchie, and he's moving. Alexiak carries it himself. Moves it past Sampson, but it ends up on the stick of Hill. And the Caps move it back the other way. Sampson across the blue line. He's got help, throws it at the net. There's the rebound, but Ritchie collects it. Sampson steals it away again, throws it back out, but Alexiak gets it off the boot. Stepping to it again. That shot knocked down by Alexiak. He's a big body to try and get that puck around.
Yeah, you got to get 6'7".
Gauntz backs up, goes down to block that pass or shot, and Riley sent it off into the corner anyway. Ritchie back across the blue line, shoots, scores! Ritchie comes up with a goal on an innocent-looking shot at the net. 4:59 into the second period and puts the Stars up 2-0.
Well, I don't know if this deflects off the defenseman's stick and changes directions, but it certainly fools Michael Hutchinson. And I don't know if that hits the leg maybe or not, but I don't know if that gets redirected as Hutchinson looks to the sky. I think it just fooled him, or maybe he didn't see it come off the stick. And as a result, 2 goals against in this game, and both times it looks like he's been fooled. And he's been so terrific in this series. You'd hate like heck to see him, not have a big night here and try to help backstop his club into another game.
Here's London, left side, left behind. Henderson picks it up. He's got Stronsky on the right. Stronsky lets one fly, and a blocker saved by Hutchinson. On the far side, Nemeth. He's got help in Foxa. Down around behind for Henderson, and it got by Yoki Paka. Up through center. Henderson will pick it up again, and he'll just tap it in as the Stars try to make a change. Stronsky, the only one left straggling behind on this one. Cormier sends it in, and that one goes out of play. And almost 6 minutes off the clock here, and the Stars up 2-0. That is one that took the wind out of the sails of these fans.
Well, you're right about that, and it's the 7th goal of the playoffs for Brett Ritchie, but the 3rd consecutive game here in St. John's with the youngster scoring a goal. And the 22-goal man in his rookie season here in the American Hockey League has really stepped up his game here in the finals. And as you said, a fragile team right now are St. John's. And when you give up a goal like that, it takes the wind out of the sails of not only the fans here at the Mile One Center, but certainly on the bench of the IceCaps, as this is going to be one where they're going to have to really rally amongst each other to try and generate something here to get back in the game.
Fortuna sends it back the other way. Morrissey for the Caps to open up their game. Do something. They've had a tough time scoring some goals. They got 3 last night, but before that, it hadn't been much. Meach with a long one. And that is turned aside by Hutchinson. Along the far boards. A lot of bodies. Looks like 5 to 9 in an elevator on Monday morning. Here come the IceCaps breaking out of it. Now Morrissey trying to get it past Glennie. He doesn't get that done. Out of the boards it comes from Jeffrey, and now Morrissey steps away from one. Got some folks standing there as the IceCaps make a change. 7 minutes gone here in the second period. 2-0 the score. Along for Glennie across the line, trying to stay onside with Jeffrey. Glennie takes the shot. It goes off a stick and out of play. 2-0 the score here in game number 5. The Texas Stars looking to take home some hardware from St. John's. This is the Calder Cup final. When you look at the Texas Stars bench and the St. John's IceCap bench, you get a little sense of what the score is. But the Stars are not letting themselves get ahead of themselves here.
No, I tell you, after last night's hockey game and even this morning at the rink, they're a very calm and collected group. And hey, we haven't won anything yet, they're talking. And they're all saying all the right things, but now as St. John's goes offside, with a 2-0 lead, you can start to probably see that how comfortable they're going to feel. This is a club that really all season long, they're the number 1 team in the American Hockey League, tied for the most wins with 48 in the regular season. They've been terrific all playoffs long, and it's a quick strike team. They proved it in, the first period on that goal by Hedden with 1:08 to play, and maybe a bad goal let in by Hutchinson here in period number 2. But when you give them a lead, when they're a skilled group like this, they're going to be tough to beat here.
Dowling sends it back out. Ritchie trying to get it in on the backhand, chases it down again. He's got Morrissey in front of him, but he overskates the puck. Up and not out at the blue line. Nemeth has Hedden waiting for it to pop loose. A couple of sticks go chasing after it, and now Nemeth moves a body or two. Picked out of there by Odell. Coming to the near boards, Yoki Paka goes cross ice. Nemeth, little pressure. Back up the boards he comes. Ritchie is going to pick it up and get it across the blue line. Dowling looks in, puts one on the goaltender, and why not? The last couple have been a little shaky. Long shot by Ritchie and one by Hedden that got in tight. In behind the net. Working to get this one back up, and to the line, but they get it a little over the line, and that's enough to drive the Texas Stars back into their own end. Here's Foxa rather, as he sends a long one in. He turns on it, and Hutchinson plays it. Coming in to help out is Foxa again, chasing down that puck that he originally had. Back the other way. This time Sherratt will get to it, try to relieve a little bit of pressure. Back up the boards it goes, by Fortunas. Lowry leaves it back, and now Stronsky, Henderson, and Foxa come back into the St. John zone. Down in the corner it rolls, and Redmond after it there. Bit of a struggle to try and pick that puck up. Gordon putting his stick in it for St. John's. Redmond trying to get ahead of steam, but he couldn't bring the puck with him, and that the officials saw that he didn't really have control of it, and his mates didn't either, and they were offside.
Well, St. John's having a real difficult time trying to get the puck in to the offensive zone and then getting control where they can get some opportunities working, Todd. And I know that a couple of line shift arounds here. It'll be interesting to see what Keith McCambridge is going to try to do to get his club engaged here offensively. But it starts with not playing in your own zone. You got to get to the offensive zone and really try to gain control of pucks so you can work your cycle game a little bit.
Morin comes in off the blue line, takes a couple with them. Here's McKenzie, back for Ranford, and Morin had got in again.
Wow, that was just missed on the pass by Ranford, looking to go backdoor for the tap-in by Morin, about 6 inches away from being a 3-0 game.
He's got McKenzie going to the net, left the puck behind. Morin comes and collects it again. Moves it back up to the line. Shot blocked by Sherratt. Redmond out of the corner tries to move it. Sampson had that hop off his stick as the IceCaps try desperately to get this one back out of the zone. Nemeth keeps it in, and now McKenzie with a little extra effort. Turning on it, Redmond with some veteran patience.
Well, but as I talked about, tough to get the offensive game going when you're hemmed in your own end. You get the puck to the offensive line, and then you got to make a change because you're tired.
Mullerath nearly put it off Sherratt. And in, here's Glennie. He's got some help going to the net. Behind Jeffrey, he turns on it. Mueller to it quick, and the IceCaps gather it in as Hill tries to calm things down with Sherratt. Along the near boards. Pops up. Bit of a jumble forward as Glennie is able to get it back to Dowling, and now here comes Hedden. He's got a step, got some room. Hedden moves it in, and Hutchinson comes up with the save to keep it at 2-0.
Well, I'd like to put a little tag on that one right there. 9:17 to play, and a stretch pass, and Hedden off the bench with fresh legs. He gets going, and the poke check by the goaltender, Micah Hutchinson, and he doesn't allow the puck to get by him. So a 2-0 game here, still in favor of the Texas Stars. But maybe that's a turning point or a rallying cry here for this St. John's IceCaps club, as they need a little bit of spark, and a big save by the goaltender to keep him in the game.
Well, he earned the name Clutchinson, and making saves at the appropriate times to pick up wins, and they'll need him to make some more. Down 2-0. Here's Kitchton moving along to Gordon. Jaffrey in behind the net, moves it back up high. Hill takes the shot, score! Hill comes up with a goal. Exactly the rallying point the St. John's IceCaps needed to get back into this one. Jordan Hill knocks it home past Christopher Nielsdorf to make it 2-1 and lifts the crowd to his feet here at the mile one.
Well, a C&I shot there by Hill, his second of the series. And you get traffic in front. You finally get some pressure and some puck possession time in the offensive zone. And then just put it to the net. You never know what happens. Nielsdorf doesn't see it. It eludes the goaltender, and it's a 2-1 hockey game.
Cormier tries the same thing, but this time Nielsdorf shut it down.
Well, and funny how quickly things can change as you feel the crowd, the energy here in the building as the St. John's IceCaps get a lift from their goaltender coming up with a save on a breakaway play. The next shift, they get the first goal to get back in the hockey game, now just trailing 2-1.
Here comes Mueller against Albert from the IceCaps. In behind him, he's got Morrissey and O'Neill. Cormier to his left. Blair Riley to his right, and it drifts in toward the goaltender, but Alexiak picks it up. Lifted back out into center. Picking it up again, Henderson, he tries to get to it, he's cut off. And the IceCaps move it back the other way. They've got the crowd on their side again. Here's Albert across the blue line, trying to leave it back. Riley will not be able to get there to keep it in. Morrissey retreats with it. Cross ice he goes with O'Neill. Albert through center. Down into the corner. The big man Alexiak for the Stars trying to move it. Comes back to the line, back to Sherratt. That shot doesn't get through. Here's Gauntz moving it quickly. Stronsky gets it up but not out. Sherratt keeps it in. Albert working it back out of the corner, but Gauntz gets to it. Now moves it softly over to Radek Faksa, and that's off the boards and out. Mullerath off a stick. Stepping to it is Klingberg. He's got fast feet. Working it back out of the corner. Stronsky too, getting his stick to it. Klingberg steps off, and it's cut off by Cameron Gauntz. Otherwise, Cale Mullerath would have had another one.
Well, again, you finally get some offensive zone time, and that just brings some life back into your legs of your hockey club, and a goal sparks your team, and a new looking team here for St. John's as they got some life back in their game.
Here's Mullerath. He can do it. Leaves it back for Odell. He tries to cut by Iokipaka, and Iokipaka doesn't buy it. He clears the zone, and here come the IceCaps again. We've got a mind for some offense here at the moment. Back up along the near boards. Ritchie trying to move this one. Here's Dowling with a step across the blue line. He's got help, but then he hangs up on the boards. He sends it around behind the goaltender. Doesn't quite get there. It's picked up by Morrissey, and he plays it right back out. Lowry stretching to try and get that one. Still working on it. Out of the corner. Got Gordon battling out front. Jaffrey comes in to help out. And Dowling steps back the other way to evade him. Meach moving it along. Hedden found it amongst his feet again, and now a backhander up to the line, not out. Gordon couldn't get the shot away, and now a stick out of the hands of Hedden. He picks it up back out front. Looking for help, and that one screams back out of the zone.
Well, good work by the St. John's IceCaps, though, as I say, they got their feet moving again, and a little bit of offensive confidence back in their game here.
Lenny trying to move it, but it comes back to McKinnon. On the far side, the crowd wants a shot. He got it, but it was blocked. Henderson got in the way of that one. Got it right in the boot. London. Gauntz goes after it. It's picked up and up along the far boards. This one to Mueller. He couldn't reel it in. McKinnon turns it around, and the Stars are having a tough time getting anything going offensively. Hill throws another one at the net, and this time it's stopped by Milstorff. 5:26 left to go. 2-1 the score here in Game 5. The Mile 1 is alive in the Calder Cup final. We've brought you some summertime shots in the East, and now you're going to have some primetime pucks. If necessary, Game 6 on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll get you enough time to get the kids to bed, I suppose.
Well, you hope that it happens here for the St. John's IceCap fans and for their hockey club. And Keith McCambridge talked about his team. We're only going to take 20 minutes at a time, one game at a time, and that's all they can do. And he said that he's always been proud of the way this team never quits. They got a lot of determination, and they've clawed their way back in here as they're looking to see if they can tie it before this second period runs out with 5:15 to play.
They'd never lost back-to-back games before last night, much less 3 in a row. Here comes a power play opportunity for this St. John's IceCaps team with 5:06 left to play.
Yeah, and it's Mueller going to go to the box, so the second power play opportunity here for St. John's. And when you lose face-offs in the defensive zone, you end up chasing, and that's what transpires. And Mueller gets the stick, and he hooks Odell as he tries to chase down that loose puck. A good call by the official, and St. John's will get an opportunity to see if they can tie this hockey game up. 5:06 to play as they head to their second power play of the hockey game.
Some folks in Cedar Park at the rink watching the game. And all over Texas, the opportunity to catch these Stars. Happy to bring you this game as the IceCaps are trying their best to make the trip. Morrissey in tight. This one comes back to the line and back out. These IceCaps want to get back to Texas. As we're here in the second period with less than 5 minutes remaining, they're on the power play with an opportunity to at least tie this game up. Stars up 2-1. Gordon sends it sharply back to O'Neill on a backhand. Moves it. Sampson winds up. Big shot wide of the mark. And here's Morrissey back out of the corner. High to O'Neill again. Moves it back to Morrissey. Tightens it up. Tries a little wrist shot that is blocked. And it is cleared by Travis Morin.
Well, get in the shooting lane. Good sticks on the ice. And that's the big reason why this Texas Stars team coming into the game today, had killed off 13 of 14 opportunities in the series.
Cormier trying to cut in, sends it back up high at the line. Kitchton looks in, doesn't have anything. Back to Redmond, finding some help on the far side in Mullarat. Kitchton was diving in, that shot blocked, and breaking a stick in the process is Henderson. Back over to Kitchton, trying to tighten it up, backs off to the boards. Goes cross ice, shot blocked by Alexiak. He'll get after it. So will Henderson, but he's got no stick. They were looking for Kitchton, who was open, and now Odell spins around in tight. That one rebound Kitchton couldn't get to. Odell back up high. They'll try to set it up again. Kitchton has help out front. Works it off the boards, goes down low to the line. Odell tried to send it back out front for Cormier, and this one will be cleared out with less than 10 seconds to play in the power play.
Good job by the goaltender trying to catch the Stars on a change, but a couple of the Caps players.
There's the one from London! Scores! And he ties it up with 3:02 remaining. They saw the comeback from the seat you don't want it, and tonight they have reversed it.
Well, London, who was scratched in last night's hockey game, comes back with a vengeance and really tells his coach, get me back in there when we're facing elimination. I can be a difference maker. He goes to the net, and a terrific shot pass by Redmond gets redirected by London as he puts it past the goaltender to tie this game up at 2 apiece. And a big goal by London, his second of the playoffs, and a big one at that. And let's go back to that save on the breakaway by Hutchinson a little bit earlier with 9 minutes to play. Less than 6 minutes later, it's a 2-2 hockey game.
Here's London working it again. Albert. Ritchie gets a hold of it, moves it back up along the near boards as they announce a goal. Here's Dowling in, trying to find some help. He had a clear shot, but he was looking for Hedden.
A defensive play by Redmond. He gets his skate on that puck.
Ritchie back across the blue line. It collapses in on him, but he still works it. We're going to get it back out front. The goaltender, it does go there, but we've got a penalty coming up. Holding is going to be the call with 2:32 remaining here in period number 2.
Well, the Texas Stars give up their lead on that power play goal by the St. John's IceCaps, and then right back the other way. And it's the work in the corner, and grabbed on the play by Redmond was Ritchie. And as a result, a holding penalty, so 2 minutes or less for Redmond in the box as the second power play opportunity here for the Texas Stars as they look to see if they can get back on top here in the hockey game.
Travis Morin in the circle. Glennie moves this one back. Fortunas has to get it quickly. Back over for Morin, looks in, and then he had the shot blocked. He's looking to pass that one, I think. Cormier.
Yeah, they like those backdoor passes for the tip in front of the goaltender. And they try it again there, but it gets blocked. So a good defensive play by St. John's.
Mueller along to McKenzie. He cuts in, takes the shot, stopped by Hutchinson. There's the goaltender we've seen all series long. Here's Morin. Cross ice, goes off the boards. Mueller picks it up from there. He's up high, out front. Lenny, the shot blocked out front. Looked like Sherratt may have got it in the skate, and it's sent back up and down the ice it goes with a minute 15 left to go in the extra man. Here's Morin. Up through center. Dishes it off. Finds some help, and Jeffrey back up front. Tip stopped by Hutchinson. And now he's feeling comfortable.
Well, it's interesting. You give up a bad goal, and then all of a sudden you come up with a big save and you get your confidence back in your game. And that's exactly what's transpired here. Is coming through the neutral zone, going to the net is McKenzie. He redirects that pass from Dustin Jeffrey, and a big save by Hutchinson.
Here's Meach, winds up, shoots, and that one picked up in the rebound. Out front it goes, scramble. Hutchinson claims it. Well, you can't say they're not getting opportunities.
No question about it. You win the face-off on the power play. Derek Meach pedals to the middle, he shoots, it gets redirected, goes wide, then Ritchie picks it up. First opportunity is saved by Hutchinson, then he's trying to look for somebody in that back door, but he can't get it out far enough where it goes off the pad of the goaltender Hutchinson, and he covers it up for the face-off. So the face-off in the St. John zone to the left of the goaltender Hutchinson.
Here's Jeffrey in the circle for the Stars, picked up by the IceCaps, and Lowry sends it down the ice. Meach will retreat. Get it all set up and come back across the blue line. Meach doing it by himself. Sent it up and out of play. 40 seconds left to go in the extra man. Score tied at 2 apiece late in the second period.
Well, Keith McCambridge's got to like what he's seen from his hockey club. Is down 2-0 early in period number 2 as Willie Desjardins again doesn't seem to change his expression too often. Neither of these coaches do. They don't show a lot of emotion on the bench. Sometimes that's a good thing, but sometimes you like to see emotion from the coach too.
That one off the official. Side of the net, that's stopped by Hutchinson, and Ritchie once again finds himself on the other end of a big save.
Well, Brett Ritchie, you know, has got a goal here again tonight, 3 consecutive games. And this one-time shot after the official gets in the way of a clearing attempt, that would have been very interesting if Ritchie's shot gets by Hutchinson, how the crowd would have reacted to that opportunity because it went off the official and didn't clear the zone. But that's an errant play where the official's standing there and the St. John's player puts it right on him.
Here's Glenny, hanging on, puts it back out into the slot, but nobody there to knock it away. And Morin down deep, side of the net, Mueller puts it out front. He's trying to find McKenzie, who would have had a shot if he got it on the tape. Now McKenzie working back. He's deep, sends it along to Morin. Less than 10 seconds to go. Back out front, picking it up and knocking it away is Hutchinson. And all the way down the ice it goes. Morin travels back as we're back to 5-on-5 in less than 30 seconds. Yoki Paka trying to cut in. Mueller takes the shot, it goes wide. Along the far side, Nemeth, less than 20 seconds, turning around. Morin, he dumps it in and goes to the bench, and back up and out it comes. Less than 10 seconds to go. This crowd will erupt from a good second period put together by the St. John's IceCaps. They've tied it up at 2 apiece, and that brings them to their feet here in Newfoundland. What a turn of events, Bob.
No question about it. That second goal took the life out of the building here in St. John's at the Mile 1 Center, but the home squad never say die. And a goal, a seeing eye shot from Hill gets the crowd ignited, and then a power play tally by London ties it all up at 2 after 40 minutes of play. Strap your seatbelt on, because I think we're going to be in for a wild 20 minutes of work here. And you see if the crowd can make the difference for the St. John's IceCaps.
Albert into the corner, trying to work it back out of there. Riley steps out, little backhander, and glances off the goaltender. Back up to Redmond. The IceCaps seem to have some intention here in the opening seconds. Long shot off the mark. Picked up on the slippery ice. Cormier trying to work it at the blue line to keep it in. He won't do it. Redmond. And now followed up as Riley tries to get the loose puck. And finally it is chipped back down into the corner. Nielstorp plays it. The only one there is Albert, and he tries to bring it back out of the corner, but is turned away in his efforts. Here comes Ramford. He's got McKenzie with him. And then Ramford tried to send it in. He'll go off. That crew gets a rest just a minute into this third period. Tied up at 2 apiece here in St. John's. That one glances off a couple of spectators and lands as a souvenir.
Well, the St. John's IceCaps are trying to do something they haven't done in their franchise history, and that's win a Game 5 in a playoff series. They're 0 for 3 coming into this one, so it didn't look good when they were down 2-0 in period number 2, but they battled back, and it's all squared up here at 2 apiece with just under a minute gone, or just over a minute gone here in period number 3.
Lenny, sharp one. Jeffrey reaches back for it, comes across the blue line. He's got help. Mueller takes the shot himself, and that one skims wide, and all the way back out it comes. Cameron Gaunt's trying to play it forward. Lowry gets a hold of it. It's picked up and put back out, but O'Neill is right there across the blue line. Throws one with authority off the glass. Lowry misses on that opportunity to center it. Here's Kitchen and Mullerath connecting. Back out in center ice. Across the line they come. Gauntz can't get it across. In fact, it rolls in on the goaltender, who is knocked down, and Nielstorp had his legs out from under him, but he picked up the puck.
Well, this is a good job on getting in on the forecheck by Mullerath. And here's a guy who's got goals in 4 consecutive games here. Hill loses the puck, but Mullerath with his stick in the passing lane as they try to go Gauntz across to Oleksiak, and it gets picked off in a dangerous play in front of the goaltender, Nielstorp.
Mueller on the draw. Odell for the IceCaps. Comes to the boards. Mueller getting it to Dowling as they get it out, but not much farther. Going to take a little extra effort, and it's not going to happen this time. Mullerath trying to get it to Klingberg. Reaching for it was Nemeth. Out front it comes, and Hedden is there to pick up the puck and sent right back in. Klingberg out front. He was looking for Mullerath. Another shot, loose, and trying to pick it up is Nielstorp, and he does.
Well, when you score consecutive goals, you get new life in your legs. And that's exactly what's transpired here for the St. John's IceCaps. As they cause a turnover, Odell strips the puck. Klingberg looking to try and get Mullerath with that little redirection in front of the goaltender, Nielstorp. And then the ensuing battle for that loose puck. Nielstorp comes up with it, but the Texas Stars certainly on their heels, Todd, as this St. John's IceCaps team is trying to get the go-ahead tally here in period number 3.
Back up high on the line. That shot on Pounder off the pads, and Nielstorp looks over at the referee. He wanted some sort of call. Back across comes Mueller. Meach has to come in to help out, and it's played high. It bounces funny off the doors where the Zamboni comes out. Radek Faksa trying to keep it in. Henderson after it too. Reaching for it. Stronsky picks it up behind the net. Goes around, takes the shot, and that one goes over the net. Fortunas, long shot, and that one is snapped out of the air by Hutchinson.
Well, Hutchinson, who gave up what we thought was not a very good goal for the second tally of the hockey game off the stick of Brett Ritchie. Since then, he's been pretty terrific. He hasn't been called upon to make too many saves, but you go back to that breakaway chance by Mike Hedden. He could have made it 3-0, and that's probably the end of this contest. But he doesn't allow the puck to get by him, and now looks like he's got some confidence back in his game. In the old story of, don't worry about it, you've been so good for us, we'll get you a couple of goals. And then he's going to say, guess what, boys? I'm going to keep the door closed for you guys. Go out and win this one.
Fortunas trying to get it out front. There's McKenzie battling for it. Riley, glove off from Albert. He goes by and picks it up himself. And then they get it back up and out, and Albert tries to move it just a couple inches forward. It does get inside the Texas zone. Meach sends it right back to the line, but not out. Morin moving it to Fortunas, sharply to Ramford. Across the blue line, trying to cut through two. Comes to Hutchinson. He plays it up along the near boards. McKenzie's there. Riley trying that nice little move to pull it off the boards to Albert, but this one will travel the length of the ice and be picked up for icing and brought all the way back. 3:29 into this third period.
Well, Travis Morin almost strips the puck there off the stick of Riley, and his second effort clears it, but it ends up being down the ice for the call against them on the icing play. But I'd rather see you be hard on the puck and have an icing than turn it over, especially to a guy like Morin, who's been a killer against.
Big one-time shot went up high from Cameron. Gone side of the net. That one pinged.
That was a lot closer than you think it was.
Gauntz at the line. That one comes out, but it's picked up by the IceCaps, and they'll bring it back down the ice. Redmond tries to use some speed, throws it at the goaltender. Stick save. And Glennie looking to escape. Gets some help from Dowling, but Kitchener is right there on top of him. Battle along the boards. IceCaps come away with it, but then lose the zone. And a heavy backhander from Albert. He dug that one out of there. Here's Gauntz working for it. Ritchie too. He shoves his man Jaffrey to the boards. Lowry tries to escape with it. Far side shot blocked by Gauntz as he picks it up and eases it along to Dowling. That one to the far boards, racing after it, heading. He's got Ritchie going to the net. Ritchie comes in behind to pick it up. Comes away to Dowling. Back up high, he's got help. Throws it in on the goaltender. Loose there. Ritchie couldn't get his stick away to get the shot off. Dowling tries to play it back. He keeps it in. Dowling looks over. He's got help up front, and Ritchie didn't get it to him. Lowry will pick it up now. Dowling gets on top of it again, and now it is put up and out by the IceCaps. They sure put a lot of energy into the first part of this period. 5:05 gone as it's sent in, and icing is the call to bring it all the way back.
Well, and a good flurry in retaliation for the first couple of minutes for St. John's, who got some opportunities around the Texas Stars goal. A good shift by the Dowling heading and Ritchie line as they get the puck in deep, and Ritchie, if he doesn't get his stick tied up there, he had a glorious opportunity on the rebound after the goaltender Hutchinson made the play but couldn't corral that loose puck.
O'Neill down into the corner. Some pressure there as Radek Faksa trying to get to it. Mullarat moves it, side of the net. Sent right back to the boards by the goaltender with some helpers. Reaching for it was Stronsky. Comes back up high on the line. Faksa trying to get in the way of this one. It comes to O'Neill. Looks in, and it's hit by Mullarat, but didn't have a lot of steam on it after that. Stepping back out. Across the blue line into the IceCaps end. Faksa with a little backhander, weak and over the top. Henderson moves it around behind. O'Neill steps to it. It comes up and will find its way back out into center. Quickly finding Henderson. He just eases it back into the St. John's zone. 6 minutes gone here in the third period. Reaching for it was Morin. He took it away. Ranford was upended. He throws his palms to the air. Here comes Riley. Takes the shot and sent it wide. Got the crowd halfway out of their seats. Back up along the near boards. Comes all the way out. Ranford tries to collect it. Cormier as McKenzie moves it along. Ranford nearly had a step on Redmond, but the veteran D-man able to move it. Alexiak gives it away. Riley scores! A huge giveaway. And the IceCaps up 3-2.
Well, it almost happened earlier in the period. Mullarat on the forecheck almost picked off a D-to-D pass, but right here, Riley's going to get in between, and Alexiak trying to make a simple play D-to-D to his partner Derek Beach. He doesn't get any sauce on the play, and it's right on the tape of Riley, and he makes short work of it, putting it over the blocking glove of the goaltender Nielstorp, and a huge goal as Blair Riley gets his third goal of the Calder Cup playoffs, second of the series, stakes the St. John's IceCaps to a 3-2 lead.
Instrumental in the last win that they had for Blair Riley. This one's coming all the way back.
Well, tale of two games. Last night, a 3-0 lead for the St. John's IceCaps, and before the Texas Stars stormed back, tonight a 2-0 lead for the Texas Stars, and now a 3-2 lead here in regulation time with lots of time to go. 13-18 to play in period 3, but it's the St. John's IceCaps, the home team, finally with the lead here on home ice.
Mueller sends it back in. Sherratt there to pick it up. Now, when they got the lead last night in game 4, they sat on top of it. They won't make that mistake again, I wouldn't think. Johns trying to get to it out of the corner. Picks it out of there. Hangs up, waits for it. Gets a little bit of pressure here from Jaffrey, and then he sends it right in front of his goaltender. At the blue line, it's knocked back out. Lowry. This one given over by Jeffrey to Dowling. He looks in, and the shot blocked by Kitchen, and covering it up is Hutchinson. Our opportunity to take a break. The IceCaps have stormed back in this one. 3-2 now the score in the mid-third period. This is the Calder Cup final. Well, just like the floating birds they're named after, there's more to the IceCaps than meets the eye, and especially in this one, Bob.
No question about it. A show of character. You know, you could roll over when it's a 2-0 hockey game, thinking the fact that you got to fly all the way back to Texas and win a pair of games there to win a Calder Cup. And it's a tall task, no question about it, but they're going to give everything they've got, and they've done that here as they've come back from a 2-0 deficit and now lead here with 12:34 to play in period 3 by a score of 3-2.
Hook right out front. Klingberg's there for the IceCaps to move it away quickly. Put down by Dowling. Turns it around. We'll see if this game that the Texas Stars often try to employ in desperation comes up with one here. They need it to tie it back up. Back to Nemeth. It bounces on him. He turns around. Klingberg muscles him off of that. The crowd likes it. Squirts loose. Stepping to it is Ritchie. He's got a little help in heading across the blue line. He turns around, fires one in and out of the glove of Hutchinson. In around behind the net. Dowling reaching for it. Feet not moving. Back into the corner it goes. Ritchie. Up and out from Mullerock. Bit of a skitterer from Henderson to Meach. Gets it back. Henderson looks in, takes the shot. Right on as Hutchinson makes the save.
Well, again, the transition game of the Texas Stars showing up again. You know, it gets chipped out of the St. John's zone, and then right off the bench, it's the play to Meach, who's the defenseman who doesn't make the change. He delays as off the bench comes Henderson. Into the zone, you got Foxy, you got Stransky going to the net, and you fire the puck there and you hope for a rebound. But again, the goaltender Michael Hutchinson doing a good job of swallowing up that puck and not giving a second opportunity.
Foxa off the draw. Here's Henderson out of the corner. Turns around, chasing after it again. Foxa, London on top of him. Got the game-tying goal, London did. Now Meach. Down the rail it goes, and he knocks it back in, but that one is going to have to come back out as far as Henderson is concerned. He does. The IceCaps into the bench of the Texas Stars. They'll drop it outside the Texas Stars zone. 11:05 left to go here in the third period. The IceCaps leading 3-2 after being down 2-0.
Well, and one thing about the St. John's IceCaps club, you know, Keith McCambridge was very adamant today about, you know, staying at the course and continuing to work, and they've done just that here in this game, and there's certainly no give up from this hockey club as they've stormed back here. And
well, and you'll find that I think the other side won't either.
Well, you're right about that, and you know, I've been watching from you know, we're across the ice from the benches, and you watch the Texas Stars bench to see, you know, if the coach is going up and down the bench and barking at the players and whatnot. And, you know, Willie Desjardins and assistant coach
Doug Lidster.
There, excuse me, I had lost my train of thought there. I couldn't, having a brain cramp.
Albert moving it in, takes a hard shot, and it's stopped. And now Gauntz mixing it up after the play.
And again, the coaching staff just very calm and cool back there, as they know their club is capable of coming back. But right back the other way, St. John's, Albert comes in, and don't waste the opportunity to shoot the puck. You see Patrice Cormier going to the net hard, looking for a rebound. And again, Nielstorp on his behalf, he swallows up that puck and doesn't allow a second opportunity for St. John's.
Stick side. This one comes back into the boards where Dustin Jeffrey collects it. They try to move it back up. The IceCaps certainly had a whole lot of jump in their step at the moment. Up 3-2. Jeffrey plays it back the other way. They'll chase it down into the corner. Sherratt there. Down he goes. Yoki Paka picks it off the boards, and it comes back up high. Nemeth throws one toward the net. Too many bodies. Lowry plays it back out. Here comes Jeffrey and Gordon. Jason Jaffrey down into the corner, still hanging on to it. Bumped up. It's Gordon. Sends it up along the far side. Waiting patiently. Gets it back. Knocked down. Out front it goes! Nielstorp with a good save.
Well, Adam Lowry all by himself in front, and a nice play from down below the goal line by Jaffrey, but a good save by Nielstorp. Keep this a one-goal game.
Klingberg comes into the corner after it. Odell and he dripped out front in the net. Mullarat moves it back around for Klingberg. He steps around and then into the far corner. Back up to the line he comes. This one, Yoki Paka sends up the glass. It gets by O'Neill, and now a foot race as Dowling gets to it across the blue line. He's got Ritchie. Hard shot, and boy, that one is kept in on the far side by Fortunas. And again, as he puts it down toward the goaltender, right there, Dowling proving his worth.
Well, Dustin Dowling does a good job of sprinting for this loose puck as it gets by O'Neill. A 2-on-1 break, but Ritchie had to hold up the line, so he tries to go top shelf. It's up and over the net, and a good job on two occasions by the veteran Fortunas keeping the puck in. And St. John's got to be careful there, because Dowling was still waiting in behind everybody, and when that puck was kept in, he was all by himself. Hutchinson realizes that, and he covers the puck to get the whistle.
They don't like the look of that one, and there aren't many that would. They'll do it again. One back by the IceCaps. Sampson gets by him, gets by everybody. Meach tried to get to it. Icing waved off. Fortunas up ice, cut off, and the IceCaps try to come back with it, but right there was Henderson. He got his stick on it briefly. McKinnon picks it up from there. Hill moves it along. He got it started for the IceCaps. They were down 2-0. Sampson into the corner. Meach tries to get on top and back up front. It comes, shot right on Nielstorp, and it's picked up by Meach. Stars making a change. So well, the IceCaps.
It looks like to me that the St. John's IceCaps have more jump in their step here, and you know that was a great example of it there, where Sampson beats Meach to the puck, and they get a great opportunity and forcing Nielstorp to come up with another save to keep this a one-goal hockey game.
Far side, Gauntz moves it along, and Rampert tips it in. Here's Travis Moore, and looks in, doesn't get the shot away, and on the goaltender it goes anyway. And Hutchinson stops that.
Well, Travis Moore, and always dangerous when he gets the puck. And I think that that's something that they have certainly learned in these first 4 games coming into Game 5 tonight, as he's got 7 points, including 4 goals. And I think it's, you know, something, 5 goals, excuse me, and, you know, back-to-back overtime winners in the first 2 games here in St. John's. Every time he's got the puck on a stick, he makes something happen. And it's all about taking away his time and space to sort of do damage control.
It gets by, rolls on an edge. Nemeth comes all the way back for it. And he patiently hangs on to this one. Chased by Gordon out from behind his own net. Yoki Paka moves it along to Jeffrey. Glennie across the blue line. He tried to get by 2, maybe 3. Now up to the line. Hard shot. Nemeth! And that is stopped by Hutchinson. And with each save he makes, the crowd gets a little bit louder.
No question about it. And Hutchinson again gave up 2 goals early in this hockey game, the second one being early in period 2. And this is the type of play that the Stars like. Work the puck down deep and then get it up to the blue line, go to the net, try and get a screen in front, tip pucks, but Hutchinson fights off that little bit of traffic in front of him, makes a good save.
Here's Morin in for the draw. Game winners. That's what he's got so far in this series. Meach. Morin trying to pick it back out of there. Albert gets it out. And now here comes Redmond. Getting a little bit of room. Fortunas puts the stick on it, bumps him off a bit, but he does send it in. Meach trying to bring it back the other way. Ramford along the far boards. Turnaround shot on Nielstorff. A soft one, he turns away. Here's Meach. Looks up. And fires it down the ice, but he tries again. But this time Albert picks it out. He's got Klingberg going to the net. Shot right on, stopped by Nielstorff. Boy, he had to be good on that one. And they meet up out front of the net for a little more discussion.
Well, a huge stop right there. And again, a quick transition. Albert has the opportunity to get the puck to Klingberg. A 2-on-1 break, and Klingberg all by himself. It hits the shaft of the stick of the defender in between, and Klingberg doesn't get enough on it, but it still almost gets between the arm and the body of Nielstorff as he crashes the net. And his countryman from Sweden, Nielstorff, with another save to keep this a 1-goal hockey game.
You gotta like it if you're an IceCaps fan, the way they hold the momentum at the moment, the pace of play. And the Stars, you know, do have that ability to get back into a hockey game. They did it last night. They were down 3-0. Across the blue line. Here's Jeffrey. Tried to go deep into the corner. Odell knocked it off his stick, but Gauntz will reel it in. At center ice. Send it right back. Hedden moves it along. Here's Ritchie. Blasts one in, and it comes back up along the near side past Alexiak. Gauntz retreats with it. Moves it back to Dowling. He's got some speed, and he uses it here across the blue line. Throws it out front. That one pops up and over the glove of Hutchinson to tie the game up at 3 apiece. Mike Hedden, who got the first one, gets the tying goal.
Well, this is one of those plays in hockey. Go to the net. Good things will happen if you put the puck to the net. And it's just a little soft dump towards the goal by number 10, Dowling. It's going to hit the leg of Heading. In between the defenseman, Morrissey, he's trying to take Hedden's stick, and it bounces up and over top of the goaltender. They're going to take a look at it, but it was called a goal by the official on the ice, and unless it's kicked in with a kicking motion, that's the only way, or knocked in with a hand, was the only way they're going to turn it over, and we're going to get a second look at it again. But the puck goes across, and it's just going to hit off, the glove or whatever, off the stick of the defender, and then onto Hedden's hand. I think this is going to be called a good goal, Todd.
Well,
mind you, we thought that last night too, didn't we?
But the interesting thing about last night's goal, and you brought it up, is the fact that that was called a no goal.
Yes, so it has to be conclusive evidence to turn it over. This was called a goal on the ice, so it has to be conclusive that the official deems that it was punched in or whatever with a hand, and as a result, I firmly believe that this is going to be called a good goal, and we're going to have a tied hockey game with 6:34 to play in the third period.
They're still looking at it. Down the tunnel here at mile 1. As they make the crowd wait. Sweaty hands all over the place. Good thing they have the rally towels.
Yeah,
They've
they're
been
going to get
stored.
another look at it again. And the defender, it's Morrissey who chips the puck, and it just hits the glove of Hedden, and it's going to go in. So he didn't swat at it at all. It just hit his hand and bounced up and over top of the goaltender. So I believe this is going to be a tie hockey game. But, you know, again, this is one of those situations where, you know, breaks, or the hockey gods, whatever you want to call them, you know, you've got to make your breaks. But it all goes from, it's never a bad play to put the puck towards the goal, and it's never a bad thing to go to the net, because, you know, they always hear that. Good things happen when you go to the net. Good things happen when you shoot the puck. And that's a classic example that if this is called a goal, that the Texas Stars are going to tie this thing up in Game 5, Period 3, with 6:34 to go.
Well, Mark Lemelin and Graham Skilleter are the referees tonight. They were the referees last night when they got involved in that one too. Boy, it's a lot of pressure being a referee in this game and at this level. Championship on the line here as they continue to wait for it. And out comes Graham Skilleter. It's a goal. Now the crowd doesn't like it, but maybe they didn't get the benefit of the opportunity of the replay like we did.
Well, Mike Hedden gets his second of the hockey game, his 9th of the Calder Cup playoffs, and some new life here to the Texas Stars if they've tied the hockey game up after giving up a goal themselves that they would like to have back, as a bad giveaway by the defenseman Jamie Oleksiak right onto the tape of Blair Riley gave St. John's the lead. So I guess a bad goal one way equals a bad goal the other way to tie things up. So hopefully whoever wins this contest is going to have a beauty goal and want to have it sort of be a big time goal for them, I guess, as a reminder, or as a memory.
Here's McKenzie working on it. Warren turns around, tried to get his stick to it. Blair Riley picks it up along the far boards. Ranford, and now we'll see who has some momentum. Warren again on his stick, comes back up high, still with it, and now knocked off his stick, and Sherratt races back the other way. Yoki Paka gets underneath him and takes the puck away. The crowd so badly wants a penalty.
Yeah, that was a terrific play by Yoki Paka. He got full puck before he took Sherratt down. So a great job by the defenseman hustling back, but a terrific effort by Sherratt, the defenseman, who gets the turnover.
He had a shorthander last night to open it up. He would have liked to have added a go-ahead goal. Fortunas lets one fly, and that is stopped by Hutchinson. He'll try it again. Throws another one at him. This time Hutchinson hangs on. 5:21 left to go. We are tied up here in St. John's. We'll be back in a moment. This is the Calder Cup final. 5:21 left to play. If Game 6 is on the menu, it is going on Thursday night from Texas. And St. John's so badly wants to be on that flight tomorrow. It's a long one, but they don't mind and will not mind.
Yeah, they would like to be able to sit on that plane for that 10-hour shift tomorrow to get back to Austin, Texas. We, along with both clubs, will be on it if that transpires.
Trying to turn around a shot there was Hedden. Not satisfied just yet. Now he works himself toward the net, goes after it again, and Hutchinson covers it up. Wow, Hutchinson is putting together something in this game.
Well, he is, but again, much like when St. John's, came out to start period number 2, where they got that late goal to tie it. They had some jump in their step. They get the go-ahead goal at 3-2. They start to take over the game a little bit. Now, the tying goal here at 3s for the Texas Stars. Last couple of shifts, the play now stuck here in the St. John zone. So some fresh legs again, or some inspired legs here for the Texas Stars with 5:08 to play in period 3.
Braddock Fox in for the draw. For the Texas Stars, it's McKinnon for the Caps. pops up. And now knocked behind the net. Brendan Kitchener is right there for it. Cormier puts his stick up to try and move that one. Meach will have to retreat back into his own end. Derek Meach moves it swiftly, finding Fortunas, who hangs up, and now send it all the way down the ice. Kitchener cut it off. Dumped in. The IceCaps. Fortunas reeling it in. He's knocked down. Put to the boards. Kitchener tries to move it in behind again. Sampson was looking for a shot. Cut off by Meach, and now here comes Foxy. He's just going to lift that one in, and the Stars are going to have to make a change here. Onto the ice comes Ritchie. He'll pick up the puck. Spin through center, across the blue line. He wants the shot. Off his stick and into the corner it goes, and it's Lowry that digs it out. Sampson helping for the IceCaps. Still working on it. Hedden, he's back out on the ice. And Alexiak moves it over to Gauntz. Hammered back into the Caps zone as the Stars make a change, but covering it up is Hutchinson. He wants to make no mistake this late in the game.
No question about it, and he's given up a goal that certainly not his fault, off a deflection from his own player, and then goes onto the glove or the body of Hedden and up and over top of him for the tying goal. He wants to make sure on any bouncing pucks, you don't want to give up an easy one here and have your season end. 4:04 to go in regulation time now, we're going to call it, as one team trying to stave off elimination, being St. John's, and one team trying to win the Calder Cup.
Redmond moves up along the far boards. Cormier there. Battling for it is Yoki Paka. Reaching in is Travis Morin. Ranford couldn't get to it. And now here come the IceCaps. Albert dumping it in. Nemeth goes after it quick, but Albert gets there. Moves it in and puts it back out front. The puck loose. Up high it comes to Redmond. Waits, patient, throws that one side of the net. Into the corner it goes. But it's picked up by Ranford. He comes down the right side. Gets a face full of it. But brings it across the blue line briefly as Sherratt turns it back the other way. He kicks it across the line and puts it on towards Nilstorp. Back out front it comes, and it's blocked out front by McKenzie. As the Texas Stars scrambling a little bit here. Meach saves it. Brings it back the other way, goes cross ice. This will come off the boards. Mueller has to reach back for it, and he sends it in. That one will be, icing will be waved off there as Cormier spins, or rather Sherratt spins out of that one. Here's Gordon back across the blue line, hammers one in, and the rebound big and juicy, but nobody there to take a bite of it. Here's O'Neill. Back across the blue line comes Jaffrey. Here's the step they're looking for. Lou trying to put it back and help out, but Gordon was all tied up. Ritchie working it, picked up, Dowling sent it over the net. A great opportunity for the Stars to get the go-ahead goal. Here's Ritchie out front looking for Jeffrey. Odell and Klingberg. Down into the corner it goes. Yoki Paka pokes it loose. Ritchie there. Along comes Dowling on the right side. He's got Hedden going to the net. Couldn't get it to him. All tied up. Nemeth working it. He's down deep for the defenseman. It pops up high, and it's going to come back the other way with Odell working back with Klingberg. Yoki Paka gets past him. Sent it wide. Here's Morin right back the other way. Hard after it. Can't reel it in, though, and it's sent back out. And here they come again. A great opportunity. Here's McKenzie. Looks in. Morin was looking for it. Minute 35 left to play here in the third period, tied up at 3 apiece. The Caps and the Stars. The Calder Cup on the line as the Stars want to win this one and take home some hardware. Morin turns around. He's got help out front of him. He's going to go to the bench. Ranford looks over, throws one at the goaltender, picked up on the far side by Mueller. McKenzie back up high to the line. Gauntz patient with it there, waits for his bodies to get on the ice. Out front it comes, and Morrissey looked dangerous there for a moment. Off the glass it goes and back down the ice. Last minute of play here in regulation time. Glennie finding Gauntz, gets it back on the give to go, and across the line it comes. Here's Glennie cutting in, looking for somebody out front. Picked up Alexiak, side of the net. He was looking for Mueller, couldn't find him. Mueller throws it over to the far boards. Gauntz picking it up at the blue line. It came outside the line. 35.2 seconds left here in the third period, tied up at 3 apiece. The Texas Stars pressing.
Well, and also, but a great opportunity by Klingberg with some speed again as he just whistles one wide of the goal as he comes down, as things open up a little bit in this last 2 or 3 minutes as somebody wants to be the hero. And as I talked about before, for one side, it's continuing the series. For the other, it's winning the Calder Cup and bringing the hardware out.
Here's Dowling in the circle. He doesn't pick up that one as Odell does. And now the IceCaps. Desperate, trying to stay alive. That one will be picked up for icing.
Well, and I can understand why you hear the complaint from the fans, because Odell was ahead of both the Texas Stars players on the hybrid icing call. I believe that should have been waved off, but nonetheless, the faceoff will come to the right of Michael Hutchinson. 28 seconds to play here in regulation time. 3-3 is our score.
And there's Travis Morin, who's had the game-winning goal in all 3 Texas wins. Off the draw, Odell kicks it down to the end boards where Redmond picks it up. He wants to come away with it, moves it up the boards, and they just get it out. Fortuna sends it right back in. There goes Morin after it, in behind the net. Still working it. Sherrod bumps him off of it. Morin puts it back out front, loose, and it's gobbled up and sent to the boards. Here's Klingberg. Back the other way, less than 10 seconds to go. Fortunas will go deep into the corner after it. We're going to overtime yet again to solve this between the Texas Stars and the St. John's IceCaps. This is about desperation versus desire.
No question about it. One shot's going to win it. Someone's going to be a hero.
And here we go. Overtime. They solved it pretty quick the other night. Took them a little longer the previous night. 7:20 it took the first time they went into overtime. 2:24 the second time.
Yeah, Travis Morin was the guy who scored both of those goals here, and that's why we sit with a 3-1 deficit against the St. John's IceCaps as they look to bring it to a 3-2 deficit, I guess you're going to call it, and a Calder Cup will be rewarded to the Texas Stars if they can capitalize and score the first goal here tonight in this overtime.
Stick with us if that's the case. We'll stick with us anyway. We got plenty more than just a game. The last time the Calder Cup was decided on an overtime goal, 2002, as the Chicago Wolves won. Meach, long shot, hard one, turning around on it, Mueller. He didn't get the shot away, and it's picked up by the IceCaps, who have not won in overtime yet in these playoffs. Glendening along for Jeffrey. He's got a step, hangs on, and then a good defensive play as it's cut off. And wow, that's the kind of effort you expect in overtime, but that one is going to be picked up for icing and brought all the way back.
Well, it just goes to show you that quick strike team that this Texas Stars club is in transition. Right back the other way they come, and Dustin Jeffrey has that hold of that puck. He shows some patience, but I believe it's Adam Lowry who dives down and gets the shaft of his stick on it to not allow him to walk out from below the goal line.
Here comes Gordon. Back the other way, 3-on-2. The IceCaps, long shot in. Nilstorp the save. Jaffrey was right there. This crew would like to solve things.
Yeah, without a doubt. And again, it's St. John's trying to gain some momentum here through the neutral zone with some speed. You dish it wide, you go to the net, and you take that shot from the outside, and it's Gordon with the shot who's looking for his first goal of these Calder Cup finals. 9 games without a goal for St. John's. They desperately would like him to get on track.
Here comes Ramford on the right side, across the blue line, it's offside. McKenzie was just a couple of steps ahead of the play. He's expecting that one to get sharply put on the goaltender.
Well, it's get on your horse and get to the net. And, you know, Ranford trying to get to that line and stretch out his stick to get the puck over the blue line before McKenzie gets there, but that wasn't the case, so the face-off in the neutral zone.
Here's Dowling, knocks it back. Alexiak, who would so dearly like to forget about the puck he gave away. Cross ice, here come the IceCaps. Odell, long shot, and Nielstorp stops that one.
Well, again, the puck off the official as, you know, Alexiak tries to bank this off the wall and out into the neutral zone. It hits the linesman who's scaling the boards outside the line, and actually it's Cameron Gauntz, and he's going to fire it. It hits the leg of the official and right back onto the stick of Odell. And, you know, he's another guy, 9 goals in the playoffs, but is yet to get a tally here in the 5 games through regulation here tonight in the Calder Cup finals.
That one pops up and looked like it came out of play, and it didn't. Mueller reaches forward. Odell pokes it down the wall and doesn't get anywhere as the Stars get it across the line. Jeffrey fires one into the glove of Michael Hutchinson.
Well, it's going to be on the goaltenders here in overtime, and again, some good speed through the neutral zone. The nice pass from the right ring wall by Scott Glennie onto the stick of Dustin Jeffrey, who's picking up speed coming from the left side, crossing pattern. He gets that puck and shoots on the fly, but Hutchinson with a good save.
Stick side, knocked to the wall. Put back off the glass and out, but it's there for Nemeth to pick it up. Yoki Paka banks it off to Stronsky. Down deep into the corner it goes. Behind the net, trying to jam it into the side door was Henderson. Back up, not out. Yoki Paka touching it with the blocker was Hutchinson in behind the net. Trying to move this one. Henderson back out of the corner. Sends it around. Foxa trying to pick it up. Getting some pressure here too. Trying to keep it deep and cycle it back out of the corner of the Texas Stars. Pushed off of it. Back into the corner it goes. A battle for it. Still working it. Stronsky sends it around. Henderson looks like he's going to battle for it. Out front it comes! And that one is shot off net. Foxa picks it up as the Stars able to get a new body out and heading out front it comes. But it comes up to the far boards and it's going to be picked up by Sampson. Racing down the right side. Fortunas gathers it in, and now he's got Ritchie who's got a step across the blue line. Looks in, and he missed on that shot. Sherratt picks it up and comes back the other way for the IceCaps. Taken off him by Dowling. He couldn't get anywhere with it. Now working down the boards is heading. He squeezed on the boards a little bit. Very nearly.
In regulation time, that might have been a penalty right there for interference.
Mullerat can't get any farther. Sherratt, it dribbles across the blue line. It's offside.
Well, the so-called fourth line for the Texas Stars do an excellent job of pinning the St. John's IceCaps deep in their own zone. They work that cycle game going, and that's, you know, where you beat hockey clubs, you wear them down, you draw a penalty, you get opportunities, but you bend but you don't break, and that's what St. John's did there. They did a good job defensively of allowing Texas to control the puck, but not getting a quality opportunity against to end the hockey game.
Off the draw, it comes to the IceCaps. Back in, Gauntz controls it, puts it over the far side. Morin trying to get to it. Across the blue line it comes. Cormier working it to the outside, turns around in the corner. He's got Albert out front, high to the line he goes. Sherratt looks in, and it's knocked down by Alexiak. He leads it along to Travis Morin, who moves it across the line. Ranford comes, looks back over, finding Alexiak, and that one is out of play.
That hit the crossbar or goal post. I don't think Hutchinson's got a piece of this. And again, Ranford gets the puck, and he looks to see who's coming late. And here comes Alexiak, and the wrist shot, I don't know if that hits the shaft of the stick or the crossbar, but it goes up and over the glass, and the faceoff's still deep in the zone. So maybe Hutchinson gets a piece of that, but pretty dangerously close to ending the hockey game right there.
Here's Mueller on the ice. Into the corner it goes, and O'Neill. Jeffrey on top of him. They try to lift it out of the zone, and they do. It drops right in front of Jaffrey, but Mueller knocks it back the other way. he gets a little pressure, and Gordon across the blue line finds Jeffrey, winds up, takes the shot, and that one goes over the curb and into the garden. 16-17 left to go in overtime.
Well, it's all about puck control here in overtime, and you don't want to give it up. Make them take it away from you, and a good job in pressure by Gordon there. He gets the turnover, he gives it over to Jaffrey, but an excellent job again by Yoki Paka to come across and get his stick on the puck and deflect it up and over the glass for a face-off deep in the Texas zone.
Odell and Mueller. Comes right to Fortunas. Races away with Jeffrey. They come back inside the St. John zone. Jeffrey the shot, and that goes off the goaltender. Odell picks it up, and here come the IceCaps. Long shot, blocker saved by Nielsstorp. Up along the ledge, looking back out front, stepping around Mueller, puts it back out front, but Fortunas got his stick on it, still working on it. Comes back out front again and scooped out of the air by Nielsstorp. That was a huge save.
Well, Eric Odell, with 3 assists here in the finals, has an opportunity with his stick, with a puck on his stick right there, and it's look what I found by Nielsstorp, but he's got his glove in the proper position, Todd, and as a result, he makes a huge save to keep this game moving along. 15:48 to play, but the St. John's IceCaps that close to extending the series to Game 6.
Kitchen lets one go, and it hits at the end boards. Picked up, working it out of the corner. Stronsky doing his best for the Stars, but Sampson is just a little bit better. He works it back down deep. Gauntz keeps his man off it, moves it along. Henderson having a tough time getting it out of the zone here by the Texas Stars. Sampson gets down there, reaching for it was Henderson. Sampson squirts away. Alexiak comes in, pushes him tight to the boards, and now it is picked up and lifted but not out past London. Kept in the corner. Sampson working on it. The Caps are able to make a change, but here comes Foxy, puts it along to Stronsky, who runs into Blair Riley. Now across the line come the IceCaps. Long shot, Gauntz very nearly went off his stick and found its way past, but it was well wide. Round behind the net. Albert trying to get to the net. He's looking for a goal. Down along the far boards. Bodies tumble to the ice. Racing forward into the corner. Foxa plays along. Ramford is right there. Here's Ramford. He takes a shot. Comes to McKenzie. Across the blue line. He's got Morin with him. He reaches to get to it, but it's knocked to the line and out.
Well, terrific shift. 2 in a row for St. John's as they're applying some pressure in the offensive zone to end this hockey game. But again, Texas Stars don't give up the golden opportunity.
Over to the far side, Riley the shot knocked away by Nielsstorp, but boy, that looked dangerous. Nemeth back up and out it comes. 6 minutes gone here as Yoki Paka moves it. Lowry's got some help out front. Gordon couldn't get to it quick enough.
Wow, Gordon was all by himself.
Glennie looks in, takes the shot. Morrissey got his stick in the way of that one. Glennie comes back up along the boards. Meach backs off, but this one doesn't find its way outside the zone before Sherratt gets to it and sends it down the ice. Meach knocks it down. Long pass. Mueller to Jeffrey. Looking out front for Glennie, who's tied up, and then they take the puck from him, but not for long. Jeffrey trying to get after it again. Comes back up, and at the line, it just gets under the heel of Maxime Fortunas' stick. Mueller gets it at the blue line. Looks in. Hangs on, and then he tried to send it back to Fortunas. Shoots! Loose puck! Side of the net! Lifted! Can't get to it! They'll take another shot! Still there, and finally Hutchinson draws the whistle.
Oh, Michael Hutchison doing his best snow angel impression right there to keep his hockey club alive and their season going. The drop pass to Fortunas from Mueller. The puck has gone to net. The first save, Ritchie gets a stab at it, but then twice Hedden gets the opportunity to complete the hat trick and win the Calder Cup. And he can't get it up and over top of the outstretched goaltender. as he's doing the elementary backstroke there. He keeps it out of his goal.
Hutch is the man. Certainly, he has got them this far. O'Neill. Ritchie comes in, pushes him to the ground. Gauntz comes after it along the near boards. It's poked loose. Dowling picks it up the blue line, sends it in, tipped by Hedden. He was looking for number 3. Hutchinson wasn't.
That was a terrific save by Michael Hutchinson, and he doesn't allow a rebound. But the Texas Stars may be gaining a little bit of momentum here. They work the wall, the defenseman pinches, they keep it in. And then Hedden gets the puck to the blue line, and Dowling fires it, and Hedden goes right to the middle of the ice, and he redirects it, knocks it out of the air. But Hutchison with a terrific stop and no rebound.
Here's Travis Morin in the circle. He's ended 2 in overtime already. Kicks this one back. McKenzie the shot. It goes off a body. It's blocked. Meach keeps it down low. Ranford gets after it out of the corner. Trying to find Ranford. He goes after the puck. Gets his feet moving to it. Morin waiting for it to pop loose. It does. And now here come the IceCaps. They dump it back in to the zone. Cormier in behind the net. Fires up along the far boards. Albert has a little trouble with it. And now Riley keeps it down deep. Fortunas reels it in. Back at the line, it's picked up. Here's Hill, he opened it up. That one redirected by Riley, but Morin is able to safely get it right back up. Here's McKenzie. Throws one at the goaltender, stick save. Nearly 8 minutes gone. Lowry, a step in behind. Nielstorp just waits for it patiently. So many young goaltenders would want to come out and challenge that.
Well, and a great job by Oleksiak too, as he uses that reach that he's got, being 6'7", and he doesn't allow the youngster Lowry to get by him and get a shot.
Here's Gauntz in behind the net. Bit of a scramble, looking out front, and that one is picked up by the Stars' Cameron Gauntz. And he goes cross ice. Foxa across the blue line, cuts in on the goal and sends it right through the blue paint. This one comes back for the Caps. 2-on-1, Yoki Parker getting back quick, hard shot, Nielstorp the save.
Well, the veteran Gordon trying to end it off his stick. Is that long drought of his, he's not wasting any shots.
Here's Jeffrey, he fires it. Comes up along the near glass and travels along the ledge. It's sent along for Sampson. He's got some help in McKinnon trailing the play. He got it back on the give and go, but it left down and back out it comes.
Wow, what an opportunity that was right there. And Sampson, and a nice play on the give and go, and he just loses his balance and the puck skips and he gets no shot.
McKinnon sends it down into the corner. Working it behind the net in Nielstorp. Trying to get things organized up, stepping out front. Sampson the shot, and Meach got his stick on that. Here's Ritchie moving it back up and out. He's got some help in Dowling across the blue line. Ritchie going to the net. Dowling hanging on, tries a backhander to get it in there, but good defensive play by Ben Sherratt.
Absolutely, good job defensively, but I think the tying goal in this hockey game was just an easy shot, put it to net. Don't be afraid to put it there, as Dowling hanging on awfully long on that play.
Here's Dowling trying to pick it up. He turns around, moves it down the wall. Gauntz thought maybe that was going to be offside, and that one is going to go all the way down the ice and come all the way back. 10:02 left to play here in overtime. Tied up at 3.
Well, pretty good pace. Second game in 2 nights for these clubs. And when you have that 4-day break in between games, you have some juice in your legs, as they're used to that type of time off during the course of the regular season. And I think that it's almost picked up in the pace here in action in overtime, as we're right about at the halfway point of the first overtime period.
Dowling off the draw. This one comes to Meach. He's got Hedden up front. He dumps it way back the other way, and Odell sends it all the way back. This one will skitter down into the corner and be picked up, and that's a free ride back the other way. And that gives us an opportunity here, tied up at 3 apiece, to talk a little bit more. I thought we were going to break, but we're not. You never know in overtime what's happening. And
well, both these clubs are fighting for everything. There's no doubt about it. And, you know, momentum is such a great thing in sport. And that's really been a game of momentum swings through the course of regulation here tonight. And now again in overtime, as each team has kind of taken turns getting some momentum and, you know, pressuring the opposition to try and end this game here in overtime. But obviously much more at stake for the St. John's IceCaps, because if they give up the goal, the series is over and their season is ended. And for the Texas Stars, I guess you've always got that in the back of your mind that, hey, if we lose, we can head home. But they want to end that here. They don't want to have to travel again tomorrow and then face Game 6 at home, because I think that ramps up the pressure on them a little bit to try and not let this thing slip away from themselves, because they have a 3-1 lead here in the series.
Well, and that's something that fans often say, well, you can win it on home ice. Maybe that's what nobody thinks that. There's only winning.
No.
There is not trying to win on home ice. There is not trying to have lived a fight, or there's only winning. There aren't other options. 9:52 left to go. Travis Morin ready to come into the circle to face Eric Odell in overtime. Mile 1, St. John's, Newfoundland. And it's picked up out front. Morin reaches for it, hangs on, still looking to it. Out front, Morin sends it back up high. Gauntz moves it over to Ramford. Looks in, the shot! And that one stopped by Hutchinson. Morin gets back to his feet. Knocked down again by Odell and Redmond. McKenzie sends it back up high. Gauntz throws it toward the net. That's a stick save and out of play.
Well, Hutchinson does a good job here. He uses his stick and makes sure that when he makes the save, he gives it a little flick, and he sends the puck up over the glass into the mesh, and they get a whistle because his team is under some pressure here right from that face-off deep in their zone after the icing call. And this was a good opportunity, a shot by Ranford from the outside through a screen, and then Texas trying to get this thing done.
Jokipaka moves it over. That shot drifts wide. Looking for a little tip. Glennie moves it down into the corner, but the IceCaps are able to move it right back out as Jaffrey finds some help in O'Neill on the far side. Lowry going to the net. Gordon too. Can't get the puck there as it comes to the far boards, and it's gathered in by Glennie. Long cross ice pass. Leading it in. Jeffrey. This one comes back up for Mueller. He cuts in, then goes behind the net. Looks back out front, trying to find it. That shot is up and off a stick and behind the net. Nemeth was the one who took it. Here's Lowry. Brings it across the blue line. Takes a shot, and down goes Nemeth.
Well, good job by Nemeth, though, as he steps up the blue line. Doesn't allow young Lowry to cross in and make a play.
Bobbled along the near wall. Dowling able to get to it again. Out front it comes, and heading right there, but he didn't get to it.
It's almost like he wasn't ready for it. And that was a terrific play by Dowling, as it had everybody fooled, including his own man.
Out in front of the benches, Ritchie picks it up, moves it back to his defenseman. Tip back out. Fortunas had that one pop on him. Here's Sampson cutting back in, left the puck behind, into the corner. McKinnon back up high. Hill started it, looks to end it, but that one goes out of play. 8:07 left to go. And the Stars saying that one should be outside the line. 3 apiece to score. Mike Hedden tied it up, 13:26.
Well, this shot is just a wrist shot from the defenseman Hill, and I don't know if it clips off somebody, but they're taking the face-off outside the blue line, so the puck must have flipped up as he went to go to wrist it, and it gets away from him. So 8:07 to play, and a very boisterous Mile 1 center here in St. John's, Newfoundland, trying to cheer their team on to a Game 6 if they can get the victory here on home ice.
Sent in by McKenzie. Morin won the draw.
Offside's the call.
Offside.
Well, it's interesting, as you know, we noted at the top of our show, the St. John's Maple Leafs back in the day, 1992, went to the Calder Cup finals against the Adirondack Red Wings. The home team lost every single game. St. John's was the home team. They lost all 4, including Game 7. And now here, St. John's need a victory here to snap that streak, as they've lost 6 consecutive games on home ice in Calder Cup finals.
Along the near boards out front. There's the shot from Albert. It pops up high. Gauntz moves it. Getting it back out to Ranford. Across the blue line. Ranford throws it toward the goal. McKenzie goes after it along the near side, but Redmond is able to pull it in for the IceCaps. Hoping to find Cormier. He does. Morin looked to peel it off of him. Now Albert down low, turns around, spins, and sends it around behind the net, but there's nobody there. Nemeth tries to get to it, but right on top of him is Blair Riley. Albert sends it out, but he couldn't find his man either. It was cut off as Radek Faksa moves it back across the blue line, but not for long. Stronsky backs up and then dumps it in. 7 minutes left to go. Stealing it away is Stronsky. Down he goes, and we got a penalty.
Oh, he's calling both guys. He's calling Stransky too for a dive. You know, it's funny because, you know, we've seen this twice in game number 4, and now we're seeing it for the second time tonight where he's calling 4-on-4. But Stransky's gonna, you know, plead his case that he didn't dive, but regardless, they're gonna let these two teams decide it on their own. The turnover right there and the stick between the legs, certainly on that play by Odell. And Odell's pleading his case that, what are you giving me a penalty for? I didn't do anything, but that, you know, his stick was obviously right between the legs of Stransky, but he goes down and the referee right away makes the call. So 4-on-4, a lot of open ice here. We'll see if somebody can produce a goal.
7 minutes exactly left to go as it's knocked into the corner. Redmond picks it up there. He turns. He's got Hedden in front of him. Waits patiently. Finds the pass up through the middle. Gordon has to retreat. Now he sets it up again. Long pass by everybody, and this one will be picked up and brought all the way back. This is a tough situation to be in, playing 4-on-4 overtime to decide a game number 5.
The skilled players like this, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, they're the guys, you know, they want this opportunity. When you're a skilled player, you know, you thrive on these kind of chances where, hey, I've got an opportunity to win a Calder Cup here with a good play, and or if you're on the St. John's side, you're thinking a guy like Gordon, I can help my team by getting back on track here and scoring a goal and extending the series.
Jaffrey stops it. Gauntz right on top of him. Comes loose. Here's Jeffrey moving it back out. Up high it comes. Back to Gauntz. Loads it. Sends it. And that one is just off the mark. Trying to get to it, but held up was Mueller. And back come the IceCaps. Jaffrey feeds it back in. Redmond trying to make something out of it. Jaffrey tips it back up, but Jeffrey is there for the Stars. Mueller 2-on-1 with Gauntz. Sends it up high. Missed the mark as he sent it off the glass. And now Jeffrey sends it over to Yoki Paka. New bodies hit the ice. Yoki Paka leaves it back for Jeffrey. He takes the shot. Redmond caught that one. Round behind the net. Travis Morin and O'Neill meet up. Puck in their feet. Moved around behind the net. Redmond will pick it up from there as the IceCaps try to move it back out of their own end, and they do get that done. Here comes Albert across the blue line, in amongst his feet. Couldn't do anything with it. Morin reaching for it, trying to get it loose, and he does for Nemeth. Nemeth back with Ranford across the blue line. Works to the net. Backhander scores! And the Calder Cup is won by the Texas Stars as they win 3 straight overtime games. This is the Texas Calder Cup here in St. John at mile 1. And an incredible, indelible effort as the Stars win the first Calder Cup in their history. They were the best team in the regular season, the best team in the postseason. These are your Calder Cup champions.
Well, a terrific individual effort by Nemeth. No goals in the Calder Cup playoffs coming in, and he scores the biggest goal of his life as he goes all from inside his own blue line and he makes a terrific play right here as he cuts back to the inside. He gets by the defenseman, and the backhand shot up and over top of the right glove of Michael Hutchinson, and the Calder Cup is going to be awarded to the Texas Stars on a beauty goal. And the St. John's IceCaps waiting to shake hands here as their fans here in St. John's, Newfoundland, appreciative of everything that they've done all season long. They give them lots to cheer about, and you know, this is an opportunity where they're going to shake hands as it's going to be all over.
A worthy champion, a worthy opponent, tenacious from both sides. These Texas Stars, these St. John's IceCaps, fought it out over 5 games. It was a series that felt like it should have been 7, Bob.
Yeah, no question about it. And, you know, when you get to this point of the Calder Cup playoffs, or any playoffs for that matter, it's all about goaltending, teamwork, and then you hope that your skill level steps up to the plate to get you through. And that's what's transpired, I believe, in this series. When you look at the game-winning goals in the first 3 games, you've got the leading scorer in the American Hockey League this year, and I'm sure he's going to be awarded with the MVP of the Calder Cup playoffs. But this St. John's IceCaps club all season long, they've been, you know, a heart of a lion. They've done so many things, and in the 3 short seasons they've been here on the Rock, they've really endeared themselves to these fans, and they gave everything they had here in this series. But they're going to walk away wishing they had a little bit more.
This man right here, Hutchinson, did all he could. That is for sure. The Texas Stars started out in Oklahoma City, and they took on their division rivals, dispatched them. They took on the Calder Cup champion, Grand Rapids Griffins. 6 games that went. They went 7 games with the North Division champion, Toronto Marlies. Then they took on these Eastern Conference champions and took them 3 in their own building, but 3 in overtime. And Travis Morin, what an effort he put in over the course of these Calder Cup playoffs.
Yeah, without question. And, you know, again, you can't say too much about, you know, you got a veteran guy at 30 years of age, you know, who has played, you know, every season since the Stars. This is their 5th season in Texas, and he's been part of things. And this year really took his game to another level. And I mean, at 30 years of age, to see a guy step up and become the leading scorer of the league, you got to take your hat off to him. His accomplishment, and here in the Calder Cup playoffs, he's the leading scorer through the Calder Cup scoring in these playoffs, and now his team is going to be crowned champions.
Willie Desjardins, what a great playoff he went through with his club. He faced some obstacles and opponents, and the crowd here thanking their St. John's IceCaps and thanking the Texas Stars for providing them some highly competitive, tremendous hockey. Let's go down to Paul Hendrick, who's standing by with Maxime Fortunas.
Maxime, congratulations.
Thank you.
You know what, you get to the dance a couple of times and you lose in back-to-back years, and finally you get here. I'm sure it's been worth it.
Oh, all those years of hard work, it finally paid off. So, but you know what, it's all a group effort. All those guys over there did a tremendous job all year, our coaching staff. It's been a great process. We stuck to it till the end. You know, we never got down. Even in the series, in the games, even when we were down, we still found a way to get it done. So I'm really proud of those guys.
Tell me about Patrick Nemeth. This man's a champion. He won a World Junior Championship with Sweden over here. Tell me about the goal, and no surprises really that he was able to get the job done out of the blue line position.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we'll get to see it again on video. It was a highlight reel for sure. So yeah, it was a great effort by him to get the job done. So, but like, again, just a big group effort from everybody out there.
You get to carry the trophy. You've got the C, Maxime. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Let's go back upstairs to Todd and Bob.
For hosting an absolutely great Calder Cup finals. And to Keith McCambridge, Craig Heisinger, the Jets organization, Jason Jaffrey, Michael Hutchison and the team, what a fantastic performance. On behalf of the players from both teams and all of the players in the Calder Cup playoffs, I want to thank the fans here in St. John's and also back in Cedar Park, Texas, for their great support of their teams in the playoffs. I'd like to call on Vice President of Hockey Operations Mike Murray to present the Jack Butterfield Trophy to the most valuable player in the Calder Cup playoffs. The most valuable player in the Calder Cup playoffs this year had 3 game-winning goals in the finals, 2 overtime game winners, was the leading scorer in the playoffs throughout the league, Travis Morin. Now to the Hicks family, to the Dallas Stars organization, Scott White.
Existence in this franchise as well as Maxime Fortunas. This has to be very special for the both of you.
Yeah, you know, we got that goal there. We grabbed each other, you know, said we did it. We finally did it. We had a chance our first year, came up short, but we finally got it done.
You've also won a Kelly Cup a few years back in Carolina. Championships are so sweet because they don't happen often.
They really don't. They really don't. I gotta go over here though. All
right. We're having fun, and there you go. There's the trophy.
Well, there you see the Texas Stars celebrating their victory here in St. John's. And Maxime Fortunas holding it up. It's not a light trophy, Bob, and you know a little bit about that too.
Got my name on the cup too, and that's our camera guy, Matt Andrews, tonight was taking shots of the cup before the game. Said he saw my name on there, so that's pretty cool.
Derek Meach, who came up with a solid effort throughout these Calder Cup playoffs, did really a lot of heavy lifting that oftentimes you need to do in order to win championships.
And you know, he's a guy that started the season in the KHL. He came back over to North America, and a huge addition to this hockey club, without a doubt. You need those veterans on the blue line.
Dustin Jeffrey holding it aloft as these players engage in a time-honored tradition now of each one holding the cup aloft and showing how proud they are and how much work it actually takes.